Hello my schoolers, welcome to my school channel. My name is Alexandra. Right here in this channel, we'll be tackling the JAMB question for the subject English Language Year 2014. Please don't go anywhere, stay with us because we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So we'll be tackling question 61 to 84. Now let's jump right into question 61. Choose the most appropriate stress pattern from the option. Now the word is congratulation, and from my pronunciation we can hear the stress on the second to the last syllable. Now there is a general rule that applies to words ending with TION or SION. When words are ending with TION or SION, the stress is usually placed on the syllable before TION or SION. That is the second to the last syllable. And the second to the last syllable is LA. This word is a 5-syllabic word, congratulation. Okay, so we can find the answer in option C as the word is stressed or capitalized and the second to the last syllable LA. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 62. Choose the most appropriate stress pattern from the option. Now the word is conspiracy. Conspiracy. For words ending with CY, TY, GY, PHY or AL, they usually carry their stress or have their stress on the third to the last syllable. The third to the last syllable. And how do we count that? This is the last syllable CY, RA is the second to the last, SPI is the third to the last, so therefore SPI carries the stress. Conspiracy. And just as I have pronounced, we see that the stress is on the third to the last syllable, and we can find this in option D, conspiracy, because P has been capitalized. So option D therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 63. The word in capital letter has the emphatic stress. Choose the option in which the given stress sentence relates. My mother bought a bicycle yesterday. Option A. When did my mother buy a bicycle? Option B. What did my mother buy yesterday? Option C. Whose mother bought a bicycle yesterday? Option D. Did my mother steal a bicycle yesterday? Now the answer to this question is option B. What did my mother buy yesterday? Now how do we arrive at this answer? In attempting or solving emphatic stress question, there are two things you need to note. The first thing is the answer must be an interrogative form or an inquisitive form. That is, it must be in the form of a question. Okay, and as we can see, all the options are in the form of question. So that is number one rule. Now the second rule is that the word emphasized, bicycle, must be replaced. So another word must be used instead, or the word used must be in contrast with the word emphasized. Now let's look at option A. The word bicycle was retained, so therefore it is not the answer. Option B, the word was not used at all, so this is our answer. Option C, it was used, bicycle was used. Option D, bicycle was also used. So option B is the best answer because it was not used. So this option is in contrast with the word emphasized because it is different, it was not used. So option B is the answer to this question. Question 64. The word in capital letter has the emphatic stress. Choose the option in which the given sentence relates. Amina went to Abuja by air. Option A, did Amina go to Jos by air? Option B is Amina going to Abuja by air? Option C, who went to Abuja by air? Option D, did Amina go to Abuja by road? Now the answer to this question is option C, who went to Abuja by air. I told us earlier that when answering emphatic stress question, you need to know two things. The answer must be in interrogative form or interrogative nature. That means it must be in form of a question, and also the word emphasized, Amina, must not be used in the answer. Okay, it must be replaced or not used at all. It must be in contrast with the word emphasized. So option C is in contrast with the word emphasized, but then option A, Amina was retained. Amina was retained. Option B, option D also, Amina was retained. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 65. The word in capital letter has the emphatic stress. Choose the option in which the given sentence relates. Musa is staying in Enugu. Option A. Was Musa staying in Enugu? Option B. Is Musa going through Enugu? Option C. Is Musa staying on the outskirts of Enugu? Option D. Is Audu staying in Enugu? Now the answer to this question is option B. Is Musa going through Enugu? Now why is this so? I said in attempting emphatic stress questions, you need to note two things. First, the answer must be in inquisitive form, and secondly, the word emphasized staying must be replaced with another word. Okay, so the word must be in contrast with the word emphasized. Okay, so the word emphasized here is staying, not Musa, not Enugu, not is, not in. The word is staying. So we are going to look out for this word staying because all the options are in question form. So this is the only option that was replaced. Okay, staying was replaced with going. So option B therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 66 to 69 comes with the passage, so I'd advise you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can have access to the full passage. Please do not forget to read carefully for a better understanding, or you could pause this video as it is being displayed on the screen. Do not forget that the aim is to read carefully for a better understanding. Now, moving on to question 66. Which of the following is true according to the passage? Option A, change is inevitable. Option B, change is inimitable. Option C, change is inestimable. Option D, change is invaluable. Now, the answer to this question is change is inevitable. Now, when you read just the first paragraph, you get that change is inevitable. The passage is talking about the political and social transformation and the desire of people to just naturally want a change in politics. So the answer to this question is option A, change is inevitable. When we talk about inimitable, we're talking about something unique. Inestimable means something you cannot measure. Invaluable means something valuable. But then the passage emphasizes this particular concept. Change is inevitable. It is certain that it will happen. It's unavoidable. When there's a change in a leader, change will occur. So many things result in changes, and this is what it was emphasized in the passage. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 67. It can be deduced from the passage that political and social changes are option A, repulsive, option B, intertwined, option C, antithetical, option D, independent. Now the answer to this question is intertwined. Now we can get the answer to this question in the passage paragraph 2, the very first sentence in paragraph 2, and it says political change and social change are analytically inseparable. That is, they cannot be separated. And intertwined means twisted together. So this clearly defines what is inseparable. Okay, so option B therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 68. A suitable title for this passage is option A, social change and political empowerment. Option B, reasons for political change. Option C, the struggle for political power. Option D, elements of politics. Now the answer to this question is option D, elements of politics. Now when we talk about elements of politics, we're talking about characteristics or parts that are associated with the governance of a country. Now, these characteristics are aimed at improving a person's status or increasing someone's political power within an organization or within that country. So, this is what the passage is all about, and so this is the suitable title for this passage. So, option D is the final answer to this question. Question 69. The word alteration as used in the passage means option A, complication, option B, multiplication, option C, recognition, option D, modification. The answer to this question is modification, because the word alteration means change and modification also implies change. So therefore, option D is the correct answer to this question. Question 70. Now question 70 to 74 comes with the passage, so you can get the full passage when you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to my school website. There you can have a complete view of the passage, or you could pause this video while it is being displayed on the screen. Do not forget to read carefully for a better understanding. Now moving on to question 70. It can be inferred from the passage that snakes are option A, homogeneous reptiles, option B, heterogeneous creatures, Option C, voracious cow eaters. Option B, great insect eaters. Now the answer to this question is option B, heterogeneous creatures, with over 250 species belonging to 10 families. Okay, we get this in the passage, right in this passage. So option B therefore is the correct answer to this question. Do not forget to take practice questions with our simulated JAMB CBT past questions. All you need to do is you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can download Myschool mobile app for your Android phones or Myschool software for your computers and laptops. Please go ahead and download and start practicing for your examination. Now moving on to question 71. The most notable thing about snakes, according to the passage, is that they, option A, exist in families, option B, abound in Gombe and Plateau states, option C, are versatile in reproduction, option D, eat big but seldom. Now the answer to this question is option D. This is the most notable thing about snake in paragraph 1 explicitly. Now in the passage it tells us that the snakes survive on meager diets. What does meager mean? It means inadequate. And then the passage explains or gives example of this illustration. It tells us that some snakes eat their next meal after months, while some eat twice in a year. So this is inadequate or meager as the passage has described or used it. So option D clearly explains this, and it is the answer to this question. Eat big but seldom. Option D therefore is the correct answer to this question. I believe you are enjoying this content. If yes, do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button and tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 72. Which of the following is true according to the passage? Option A, snakes are seldom seen at the Antarctica. Option B, snakes are not in the polar regions. Option C, snakes are endemic on every continent. Option D, there are countless numbers of snakes in the Republic of Ireland. Now the answer to this question is option C, snakes are endemic on every continent. When we talk about endemic is something that belongs to a particular group of people or to a country. Okay, we can also see endemic as an outbreak of something that affects a lot of people. We can see it as a bad condition to every continent. Now this is the answer to the question because option A, B and D are false in regards to the passage. Now, option A says snakes are seldom seen at Antarctica. This is very untrue because snakes are not seen in this continent, Antarctica, according to the passage. Option B, snakes are not in the polar region. This is false also because they are located in parts of the polar regions. There are countless numbers of snakes in the Republic of Ireland. This is also not true because they are not found in the Republic of Ireland. So option C, therefore, is the correct answer to this question. Question 73. It can be deduced from the passage that snakes have option A, large appetite for antelopes, option B, no external auditory organ, option C, visible internal locomotive organs, option D, no visual sense of measurement. Now the answer to this question is option D, no visual sense of measurement, because we can relate this to their feeding habits. We learned from the passage that they can take up food as big as a cow, even bigger than their head, and they do not eat in pieces or cut their food in pieces. So they just swallow it up as they see it. So option D therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 74. A suitable title for this passage is option A, species of snakes in Nigeria and other lands, option B, feeding habits of snakes, option C, some characteristics of snakes, option D, snakes are legless, cold-blooded reptiles. Now the answer to this question is option C, some characteristics of snakes. Now when if you've read this passage, you would notice that the passage talks about the characteristics of snakes, and then option A, B and D are all embedded in what we term characteristics of something. So characteristics of snakes is the best or the suitable title for this passage. So therefore option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 75. 284 comes with a passage, and I would advise you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can have full access to the passage. Or you could pause this video as it's being displayed on the screen. Do not forget the aim is to read carefully and properly for a good understanding. Now moving on to question 75. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap labeled 11. Option A, sub-editor, option B, processor, option C, lithographer, option D, proprietor. Now the answer to this question is option D, proprietor. When you read this passage, you get the feel that it is talking about broadcast, newspaper, editing, and all of that. And then the first sentence begins with starting up a newspaper involving a lot of people. And this dash should represent someone who owns a business as implied in the passage. So, sub-editor is one who corrects mistakes or corrects articles or newspapers. Processor is a machine. Lithographer is one who works at lithography, which involves printing activities. So proprietor is one who owns a business. So this fits part labeled 11, and so option D is the correct answer to this question. Question 76. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap labeled 12. Option A, vendors. Option B, agents. Option C, reporters. Option D, analysts. So the part labeled 12 is meant for people who go out to collect stories or items, and these are reporters. Reporters are people who go out to collect stories or gather up stories and items for news broadcast. So option C therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 77. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap label 13. Option A, newscasters. Option B, correspondents. Option C, distributors. Option D, listeners. Now the answer to this question is option B, correspondents. Now in this passage we see that the part label 13 is meant to describe one who specializes in one kind of topic, and correspondents are people who inform the public about current affairs based on a particular subject or certain subject matter. So the answer to this question is option B, correspondents. Now newscasters are people who broadcast news, distributors are people who supply, or agents who supply goods, listeners as the word implies. So option B therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 78. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap labeled 14. Option A, reporter. Option B, announcer. Option C, news editor. Option D, proofreader. The answer to this question is news editor. Okay, for the part labeled 14 is meant to describe a personnel that works closely with the editor-in-chief and who is charged with the responsibility of choosing important stories. Now, the news editor is one who oversees the preparation and selection of news items. So option C therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 79. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap label 15. Option A, producers. Option B, sub-editors. Option C, writers. Option D, agents. Now the answer to this question is option B, sub-editors, because this gap is meant to describe a personnel that go through stories and make adjustments. So this is the work of a sub-editor. It goes through stories or news items and make adjustments to them. So option B therefore is the correct answer to this question. Are there questions lingering on your mind that you would like to ask? You can go ahead and ask your questions by using the link provided in the description below. Click on this link. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can ask as many questions as possible, and solutions will be provided to you within a short period of time. Now moving on to question 80. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap labeled 16. Option A, an essayist. Option B, a freelancer. Option C, composer. Option D, columnist. The answer to this question is columnist, because the part label 16 is meant to describe a person whose workflow is determined by the editor-in-chief. It could be weekly or daily or monthly, but as prescribed or determined by editor-in-chief. And this type of journalists are called columnists. So option D is the correct answer to this question. Are there better steps, solutions, or explanations to any of this question? If yes, feel free to use the comment section below. Indicate the question as well as the solutions you would like to share. Question 81. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap labeled 17. Option A, an agent. Option B, a guild of researchers. Option C, an editorial board. Option D, all readers. The answer to this question is option C, an editorial board. Now the part label 17 is meant to describe a board that coordinates editorials. So the answer to this question is option C, an editorial board. Question 82. Choose the most appropriate option for the gap label 18. Option A, a gazetteer. Option B, an article. Option C, a column. Option D, a magazine. The answer to this question is a magazine, because the part label 18 is supposed to be something that a publisher established that can be on sale on a weekly or monthly basis. And we know that a magazine is a periodical publication that contains articles or illustrations or other newsletters. So option D is the best answer to this question. Question 83, choose the most appropriate option for the gap label 19. Option A contrast in, option B, a contrast from, option C, a contrast for, option D, a contrast to. Now the answer to this question is a contrast to. The difference in this option is the use of preposition, and the right preposition to use with the phrase a contrast is to, a contrast to. Option D therefore is the correct answer to this question. Question 84, choose the most appropriate option for the gap label 20. Option A, salesmen, option B, readers, option C, distributors, option D, pressmen. The answer to this question is salesmen, because the part label 20 is meant to describe a personnel who sells every day, who sells newspaper every day, and this is a salesperson or a salesman. Salesmen are people who sell or promote commercial products. So the answer to this question is option A, salesmen. We've come to the end of the segment, and I believe you enjoyed every bit of it. Please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.